The Truth Unmasked. Paris glowed under the afternoon sun as Adrien walked through the school courtyard. Life had slowly been returning to normal since his father's passing, but an emptiness lingered in Adrien's heart. Gabriel Agreste had died to protect the city. At least, that was what Ladybug had told him. Adrien had clung to that thought, proud to know his father had been a hero, even in his final moments. But today something unsettling happened. Lila, with her usual sly smile, approached Adrien as he was packing up his books. "You know, Adrien," she said casually, "there are some things Ladybug didn't tell you about your father, about what he really did before he died." Adrien looked at her, immediately on edge. "Lila, I don't believe anything you say." Lila sighed, feigning disappointment. "Fine, if you want to keep living in a fantasy. I just thought you should know the truth about who he really was. But if you'd rather believe he died a hero, well, that's your choice." Her words stayed with him, nagging at him in a way that her usual lies didn't. Adrien pushed back against it, but a seed of doubt had been planted. Lila's lies had always been obvious, but this one lingered, scratching at the back of his mind. That night, unable to ignore it any longer, Adrien decided he had to hear the truth from the one person he trusted most, Ladybug. Confronting Ladybug. After their usual patrol, Adrien, as Cat Noir, called Ladybug aside. His heart was pounding, but he tried to keep his voice steady. "Ladybug," he began, "there's something I need to ask you. It's about my father." Ladybug's expression softened. "Of course, Cat Noir, what's on your mind?" He hesitated, struggling to find the words. Did he really die a hero?" Ladybug's face tensed, a flicker of unease passing over her. "What do you mean, Cat Noir?" "Lila told me that he might not have been who I thought he was," Cat Noir said, his voice shaking slightly. "She said there was something you didn't tell me." Ladybug looked away, clearly troubled. "Cat Noir, I promised I wouldn't tell you this, but if you're asking, you deserve the truth." Adrien held his breath as Ladybug continued. "Your father, Gabriel Agreste, was monarch," she said, her voice barely a whisper. "He was the one behind all of the Akuma attacks. He was the villain we were fighting this whole time." Adrien's heart shattered. No, that can't be true. He took a step back, his mind reeling. You're lying. You're lying too." Ladybug's eyes filled with sadness. "I wish I was. But it's the truth, Adrien." "Then why didn't you tell me?" he demanded, his voice breaking. "Why did you let me believe he was a hero?" Ladybug hesitated, then sighed, her voice thick with regret. "It was his last wish, Adrien. He asked me not to tell you. He wanted you to remember him as a good man, not as monarch. I thought I was protecting you. I wanted you to only know the good in him." Adrien's eyes filled with tears, a mix of anger and betrayal swirling within him. "You kept this from me to protect his image? Ladybug, you should have told me the truth." Before Ladybug could respond, Adrien turned and walked away, his mind spinning. She watched him go, her heart breaking, but knowing he needed time to process the truth she had hidden. Adrien wandered the city, lost in thought and reeling from the truth. His father, a villain. The person he had looked up to, mourned, missed every day, was the same man who had hurt so many people, who had been Ladybug's greatest enemy. As he wandered the empty streets, his emotions spiraled, a storm of anger, sadness, and betrayal tearing through him. He didn't notice the dark clouds gathering overhead, nor did he feel the chill as Shadow Moth's Akuma found him. "Adrien," a familiar, oily voice spoke in his mind. "I know how it feels to be betrayed by those closest to you, to discover the truth, only to have it hidden from you." Adrien clenched his fists, too overwhelmed to resist. His heart ached, and he wanted nothing more than to release his anger, to show the world the pain he felt. "Become Truthbreaker," Shadow Moth whispered, "and make those who lied to you feel the same betrayal you feel." With a flash of darkness, Adrien transformed, his heart filled with anger and his mind clouded with resentment. Now, as Truthbreaker, he vowed to make Paris pay for the lies it had told him, to tear apart the facades people wore and expose the truths they hid from each other. Act 3. Ladybug's Redemption. As Truthbreaker, Adrien unleashed his powers over the city, causing people to involuntarily reveal their secrets. Chaos erupted as friends, family, and even strangers found themselves blurting out hidden truths, unable to control their words. Ladybug arrived, horrified to see the destruction and confusion spreading through the city. She quickly spotted Truthbreaker and felt a pang of guilt. She knew who he really was and why he had been akumatized. This was her fault. She had tried to protect Adrien's feelings, but in doing so, she had only hurt him more deeply. Truthbreaker, she called out, moving toward him cautiously. Please, listen to me. Truthbreaker's gaze met hers, full of anger. Why should I listen to you? You're the one who lied to me, Ladybug. She swallowed, steadying her voice. Adrien, I know you're angry. You have every right to be. I kept the truth from you because I thought I was doing the right thing. I never meant to hurt you. Then why didn't you trust me enough to tell me the truth? He shouted, his voice filled with pain. You could have told me. You should have told me. Ladybug took a deep breath. Guilt etched across her face. You're right, Adrien. I should have trusted you. I was wrong to keep it from you, but I was only trying to protect you from the pain. I thought it would be easier for you. Truthbreaker's expression faltered, the anger in his eyes softening as he processed her words. Seeing his hesitation, Ladybug stepped closer, reaching out a hand. Adrien, she said softly, I'm so sorry. I'll never lie to you again. Please, let me make it right. His resolve crumbled, and Adrien's heart swelled with a mix of pain and forgiveness. With a trembling breath, he allowed himself to reach out, his fingers brushing against hers. The connection was enough for Ladybug to summon her lucky charm, a soft, glowing rose. Taking the rose, she held it out to him. This is for you, Adrien, a symbol of the truth and of my promise to you. The light from the rose washed over him, dispelling the dark energy of the Akuma. Slowly, Adrien transformed back, his shoulders slumping as the weight of his emotions hit him. Ladybug de-evilized the Akuma and turned to him, her heart aching with empathy. Act 4. Forgiveness and a New Beginning. Adrien looked at Ladybug, tears in his eyes. I don't know if I can forgive you, or if I even want to, but I understand why you did it. Ladybug's own eyes shimmered with tears. Adrien, I promise you I'll never keep anything from you again. I was only trying to protect you, but I know now that you deserve to know the truth. He took a deep breath, the tension slowly easing from his face. I can't forget what you did, but I think I can forgive you. Ladybug managed a small, relieved smile. Thank you, Adrien. As they stood together in the aftermath of the chaos, Adrien felt the hurt begin to heal. Though his world had changed and the truth of his father's legacy would forever haunt him, he knew he could trust Ladybug. And perhaps in time they could both find a way to move forward together. Hand in hand, they looked out over the city, a silent promise between them. No more secrets, no more lies, only trust and the strength to face the truth together.